Mom guilt gets a bad rap, but I'm going to tell you the truth about it. This might hit a nerve, so if it feels hard to hear, just remember, I've been there. I know what it's like, and I love you. This is the unexpected key to a calm and regulated mom. By the end of this video, you'll know how to metabolize that common but very unpleasant and even disruptive feeling into the very material that fuels your peaceful, calm mothering. If you can't wait to hear that happens, click subscribe now so you don't forget. First, you're not alone. The vast majority of mothers struggle with mom guilt, something like 87% according to a recent large study. And why not? There's so many things to feel at least ambivalent about, starting at the very beginning. When I have a tiny new baby, all I want is to be holding and touching that baby. And very long apart, and my mind and body start getting antsy. But I know many women who start off loving their baby, wanting to hold her, but feeling so overwhelmed, so touched out, and trapped by the level of sheer physical need that's seemingly in competition with their own very real needs. Guilt. Breastfeeding is one of the hottest buttons of mom guilt. Can't or can. Want to or don't want to. Enough milk or not enough. The reality of the pain and sacrifice that goes into successfully breastfeeding your child many times, and the sorrow that goes when you can't and you wanted to. Worry about contaminated formula or the expense, when to introduce food, and if it started too early or too late. Guilt. As they get older, the ways they trigger our reactions of rage, anxiety, overwhelm, even despair, all while we love them and want so badly to be good mothers to them and to raise them well. Our reactions can even surprise us and sting as we wish we had done otherwise. Years ago when my oldest were tiny, one of my girls did something that just put me over the edge. I don't even remember what it was, but I grabbed a hairbrush and gave her a swat right on her bottom. It wasn't hard, but that would have been bad enough, except she quickly put her little hands behind her, and instead of catching her on her padded, corduroy-clad bum, the bristles caught her right on her soft little hands. I still feel the guilt and shame of that moment. I think I cried harder than she did. These things happen, and the guilt comes as we review our mothering and see our failures so clearly it can be crushing. So why am I even talking about it? If it just riles us up more, isn't this the antithesis of calm and regulated parenting? What about that key? Okay, I'm getting to it. But first, tell me what comes up for you. Have you struggled with mom guilt? Does it still bother you? Let's talk about it in the comments. There's no shame because we're all in this boat together. So now I'm getting to it. I'm going to give you two really important ways that guilt can actually be your ally, and the way to use it to unlock that calm and that peace you've been seeking for. First, guilt as the truth. When you shoot a messenger, the message doesn't just disappear, and truth doesn't go away just because we don't want to hear it. Guilt deserves an honest listen to hear if there is any truth in it. Swatting my daughter was a wake-up call for me. Guilt can alert us to things that we're already feeling off balance about. If we're uneasy about our disciplining, it deserves at least a second or third look, not a justification. If we feel guilty about the amount of time we spend away from our children, it's a sign to give it at least a real, honest reassessment from the best that's in us. If we look at our sleeping little angel and feel guilt for our tone of voice that day, it's a wake-up call before it's too late. A chance to decide if we want to be different tomorrow, and how. My video on healing the root of overreacting has some deeply practical ways to address that, if that's one of the things that you feel guilty about. Listening to our guilt in this way can be an incredibly sensitive monitor to help us course correct closer and closer to real time. A calm parent isn't perfect, but they also aren't at the mercy of their immediate reactions. The peace that comes from honestly assessing our actions and living closer to our real desires as a mother is irreplaceable. But not all guilt is created equal, so stick around for the next part. This is the second part, guilt as a liar. Now here's where we can get really tripped up. I see you, sensitive mamas who want to take responsibility for everything. I know the feeling. If you can control it, if it was something you did, you can fix it and make it right. Unfortunately, we can't control everything. This is where we have to discern carefully. This is where we have to stop holding guilt as a badge of how much we care and start thinking like the grown-up that we are. And if you can't do that, don't worry. It can be hard to get into this framework of self-exoneration when you're deeply invested in self-confrontation. If you really can't tell if your guilt is based in reality, ask a trusted friend. Ask an invested, level-headed spouse. Ask me. I would happily respond to anybody who wants to reach out to me. But really, this is where you say, did I do my best? Could I do it differently? Would I do it differently? Have I made amends if needed? And if that wasn't needed, can I accept my own imperfection as a human being, as part and parcel of being a mother, and part of the importance of my role as a mother? Guilt for not being able to breastfeed is an excellent example of this. Or the temptation to feel guilt when your child's other parent doesn't step up and create the relationship you hoped they would. That's not your fault. Those kind of things hurt. I'm not trying to diminish that. But they aren't the kind of guilt that will add to your peace, to your calm, to your self-regulation as a mother. When guilt is a liar, you can still use it to fuel your peace. If you listen to the message and it's not yours to take on, you can leave that guilt right there. It's not yours anymore. It feels frightening sometimes to really consider, what if it is true? What if it is my fault? But if you don't give it a fair hearing, mom guilt just chases you around like a hungry dog. Stop, listen. Decide if it's true or not true. If it's really yours to deal with, take it on. Make the changes. Even if it's 1% at a time that it nudges you toward, you'll be amazed at how much peace and calm you begin to feel as you step toward living in your integrity as a mother. If it's not your guilt, you don't have to run from it. And you certainly don't have to carry it around anymore. Leave it there and walk on with a calm, light heart. You will feel the difference. Your children will feel the difference, even if they never know anything about why. And if you're still struggling with guilt that dogs you and living up to what other people's expectations or not, check out my video about how to stop seeking external validation and build self-worth instead. And I'll see you there.